Hey, so welcome back to my kitchen, and today we're gonna do some breakfast kind of food prep. So I don't know, it's a kind of overcast Friday, babies are sleeping, but I've already been forewarned that my time is dwindling. So I'm gonna do as much as I can in as little time as I can. So this is kind of how I start. I just kind of sketch out things that I think I want to make. Definitely not going to be able to do all these today, but we'll see if I get most of them done over the weekend. And then here are, I've shown you before, my very fancy recipe cards that I have. So I'm going to get started on the pumpkin breakfast cookies first. Alright, so we're going to get started with a can of pumpkin puree. I've actually been playing around with this recipe quite a bit before I shared it with you guys to make sure it's good, because I hate when a recipe is like a cup of pumpkin or half a can of pumpkin, because then I'm left over with a random amount of pumpkin and I have to figure out something to do with it. So I wanted to make a recipe that uses an entire can of pumpkin. So you can do this in a bowl, but I am going to do it in a blender because I like the consistency whenever it blends up the banana a bit better than if I were to just mush the banana with a fork. So a whole can of pumpkin. Okay, 2 bananas and then a cup of applesauce. This is 1/4 of a cup. Super annoying. Okay, well, you know, 4 of these. But that's about it as far as the wet ingredients. Maybe you could add a dash of vanilla if you want to, but I'm not going to. I am going to sweeten it a little bit with maple syrup. It tastes good. And because I am such a pumpkin fanatic, I did go ahead and pre-mix the other day like a lot of pumpkin pie spice, but as I mentioned in my last video, it's really easy to make yourself. If you have the spices, like, don't buy a pre-made, just do it yourself. It's like ginger, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, and maybe some allspice. So I am going to add that to my bowl here. That's the pumpkin, banana, applesauce, and maple syrup. I'm gonna add some of my pumpkin pie spice, and then about to add my oats and my add-ins, and then we'll put them in the oven. It's really that easy. You're just gonna mix it around. All right, so I will say that this is not like, I say breakfast cookie because it's something you should eat for breakfast. My kids like them as cookies. We obviously call them cookies, but they are not as sweet. Like, don't be thinking it's gonna be some, like, you know, all-American famous cookie sweetness. Like, it's just definitely tastes like breakfast, like baked oatmeal, just in a cookie shape. Alright, I do want to show y'all, like, to me this seems a little heavy on the puree side, so I am going to add, for sure, I'm going to start with another 1/2 cup of oats, up to 5 cups of oats total. Alright, I have a little helper here. So the breakfast cookies are ready. I'm just going to add in some add-ins. This could be up to your own choosing. I'm going to put some pumpkin seeds and some dried cranberries. I really like chocolate chips, but all of our non-dairy chocolate chips are gone. Yeah. So I want to make sure that Josiah can eat them. So we're going to go chocolate chipless. But I will have to say they're a lot better with chocolate chips. But we are going to just hope the cranberries sweeten it up and make it to where everybody wants to eat it. Put some cranberries inside.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to scoot you this way. I do have some chicken broth going. So we're just going to make these into our cookie shape. You don't want any rings on your fingers. So these don't change shape like regular cookies, right? We didn't put baking soda, baking powder, anything. So they're not going to rise, they're not going to change. So I actually just wash my hands first, and I just kind of make little balls. You can make them and pat them a little flat. But you can also put them really close together on the cookie sheet, again, because they're not going anywhere. The shape and size that you put them in the oven is the shape and size that they're going to come out. So they're not going to change, they're not going to expand. So I usually try to get at least 4 across. I make mine on the smaller side just because I've got 6 little kids who are eating them, so it helps them stretch a little further, you know, as I'm passing them out 6 or 8 at a time, if Guillermo and I eat one too. So this is basically all there is to it. All right, so we made about 31 cookies and they're going in the oven. The next thing that I'm going to make are some almond flour muffins, like banana bread muffins. So if y'all watch my last like Costco shop with me, I was there and I usually get this almond flour right here and it is $11.99 at my Costco. And right next to it was like a pre-made box mix to make banana muffins with almond flour, but it was also $11.99 for significantly less of the almond flour, and you still had to add like your own ingredients at home. So I was like, I'm just gonna find a recipe. So I did, and I have tested it several times to make sure it's like tried and true. It's delicious, it's moist, you can freeze them, you can keep them in the refrigerator. They are really great and they last a good amount of time. So that's what I'm gonna make next. All right, so for the banana bread almond flour muffins, we need 3 bananas, and again, you can do this in a bowl, but the consistency is just more lumpy. I can't get the bananas, you know, as pureed, obviously, as a blender. So I very much like adding it to my blender. I just rinse this sucker out in between each recipe, and I just keep on going. So it's really, really easy for me to just keep, it doesn't really slow me down to have to wash it out because I just rinse it real fast because I just know something very similar is about to go right back in there. So I did 3 bananas, and I'm gonna do 3 eggs. I'm missing one, so I gotta go get 1 more egg. All right, here's my last egg, and you'll notice it is one of the white, cheaper eggs from Costco. Again, if I'm baking, I usually use one of the ones that I get like 5 dozen at a time, and I'll save my pricier, like better quality eggs for when I'm making something like strictly out of eggs. So there goes that. I'm gonna add in some cinnamon, probably about a teaspoon. I don't generally measure cinnamon, but there's that. Then we're gonna add in a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and a dash of salt. So, you know, that'll work out. And then we're gonna blend it all up and then add in our almond flour. All right, so this was all my liquid ingredients, plus I had put the baking soda and powder and stuff in there. I'm just gonna put that all in a bowl, and we're gonna add 3 cups of the almond flour. Maymay is putting the coconut oil in our pan because I'm such a cheapskate. I still haven't bought that sprayable avocado oil from Costco, although I really want to. So she's oiling my muffin tin for me. No! I can't open this bag.
Mom, Mommy.
It's hard.
No, we need scissors.
I did need little scissors. I used my little teeth. Okay, here we go. 3 cups of almond flour. 1, 2. Almond flour is really interesting. I like using it because it's really high in protein, obviously, because it comes from almonds. It is 6 grams of protein in 1/4 of a cup. So that really works out well. Somebody needs to do the math. If I put 3 cups in here, 3 times 4 is 12. So there's 12 like portions. So 12 times 6 would be how many grams of protein are in the whole batch. I think I'm making this more difficult because then I would divide it by 12 because there's 12 muffins. So really each muffin, I'm pretty sure, has 6 grams of protein. I need some math people out there to make sure that's right. I know that I can do math, but not always while I'm in the kitchen. So the almond flour does have a different consistency than regular flour, obviously, because it's almonds and not flour. But it honestly comes together pretty well and pretty easily. Again, I like to add the chocolate chips, but then I don't want to have to not give it to our non-dairy buddy. But chocolate chips are great. I'm also just going to add in a handful of sliced almonds just to give it some texture difference. But definitely add chocolate chips if you have them and you like them. right, our breakfast cookies are coming out of the oven, and our muffins are going in the oven. May is determined to like stick it out today. She is still helping. Now we're gonna make a double batch of orange cranberry muffins. I really started making these pretty frequently because right now, Guillermo had lost his job with everything with COVID and furloughs and all of this, so we were getting WIC stuff, and they give so much juice, but we don't even drink juice. Like, it's not necessarily the best thing to drink tons of juice with lots of sugar. So I try to use up this orange juice with something other than just drinking down a bunch of juice. So making orange cranberry muffins is one of the ways that I've been trying to use up the juice, and they are the easiest thing ever. Like Isabella, my almost 9-year-old, she made these by herself last week, and it's very easy to make 2 dozen like in a snap. I love it. They're delicious. They keep really well. These have become a staple in our house. Okay, so these are not gluten-free like the other recipes that I've done. I'm using, I just use organic like whole flour, whole wheat, white flour, I don't know. But it's 4 cups of flour. The recipe says 3/4 of a cup per dozen, which would be 1.5 cups of sugar, and that just is just too much. It's just too much sugar. So we're gonna try to do only about 3/4 of a cup for the whole batch. And then at the end, I might add a little bit of liquid stevia when I taste the batter and see how it goes. Then we're gonna do 4 teaspoons of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. So those are our leavening agents. And I'm pretty sure 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. And so to make this go faster, I'll do a tablespoon and a teaspoon. Hey, I learned that in Math UC, guys, when I taught my kids. Now I'm gonna do a teaspoon of baking soda. With baking soda, if I'm not putting it in the blender, I put it in my hand and I kind of smear it because it gets clumpy really easy. I've also used a recipe that has you dissolve it in water, and that works too, because sometimes before I started doing that, you would take a bite and it would be like a clump of baking soda, and obviously that's disgusting. So you don't want to do that. And we're just gonna do a dash of salt. All right, obviously just a really quick stir to your dry ingredients. We're probably like 3 minutes in, and we already have all our dry ingredients in the pan. This still has flour in it. I'm not washing it out. It's all going in the same thing. So I'm just gonna take my cup measure, and now we're doing 2 cups of orange juice right inside the same bowl. You don't have to do a lot of, baking. You gotta do 2 separate bowls for wet and dry. This one just has you put it all in the same, and this is the 4th time we've made these, and it's turned out fine every time. So now we're gonna do a cup of applesauce. I was prepared. Okay, I knew that wouldn't be enough. Okay, so we're doing a cup of applesauce. That should help sweeten it up a bit. So I'm hoping I won't have to add too much more. And it doesn't call for any spices. I have this next to me, and I feel like orange cranberry, like you can do that. Like, doesn't like wassail and stuff have orange or apple, or I don't know. I feel like we can put a little spices in there to add some flavor. I'm just gonna mix this all together, and then I'm gonna add cranberries. And you can either do fresh cranberries, like that you buy at the store that are whole, or the dried cranberries. Either way, I think it'll be delicious. All right, I am just gonna use dried cranberries. I'm actually kind of sad. I really wanted to use fresh cranberries, but we are, the house that we just moved out of, we're still using it actually for church and for the school that my husband and I lead. And so we have a freezer over there that still has our food in it. I'm pretty sure that's where all my frozen cranberries are. I usually buy tons of fresh cranberries whenever they are on sale, like around Thanksgiving, because they'll go on sale for like 99 or 79 cents a bag for like a whole pound of, like, it's a 16-ounce bag. So I just buy a bunch of them and freeze them so that I can have cranberries all year. Because just like pumpkin, I like pumpkin all year. I want cranberries all year. I don't only want them once a year. Like, I don't like when they make things just seasonal and then I can never find them. So if you love cranberries, that's a great way to keep them fresh all year long, is just buy a bunch and keep them in your freezer. One thing I do really love to do when I am filling muffin cups is use some form of measuring cup. That way, number one, you just you can just, you know, scoop it and keep going. But it also helps make sure that they're all the same size. I also do this when I'm making waffles or pancakes. I might alter. Right now I'm doing 1/4 of a cup for each like muffin hole or whatever. But that just really helps me know that all my muffins are going to be approximately the same size. So my phone totally died and now it is on a charger. So you are very limited to where in my kitchen you can go. But next on the list is going to be granola. This is Guillermo's favorite. Good on top of yogurt. Also just good to munch on as a quick little grab and go snack. Yeah. Okay, so I feel like meal prepping is one of those things where it's a job that when you're in the middle of it, it feels like you're going so fast. But I feel like I'm like flying at the speed of light. But Guillermo just came in and I'm gonna see, how does it feel like how long have I been in here for real life? Do you know?
I would no, maybe like 20 minutes.
No way. It has to be more than that.
I've just been doing everything around the house. So, you know, for me.
Get the laundry done. So I'm going to keep cooking longer then, right? So that you can do more chores. Look, he's doing all the laundry. All the chores.
I'm actually looking up a YouTube video myself.
I said, where's Daddy? On the couch. Doing what? On his phone. Ooh, laundry's done. Okay, so homemade granola is really easy. We're gonna start with 4 cups of rolled oats. And then I like to make mine with coconut oil as like the liquid. So we're gonna do also 6 tablespoons of cocoa powder. See, and like that too, 6 tablespoons of cocoa powder, I'm sure is equivalent to like, we're gonna do 1/3 of the cup because I don't wanna measure out how many ever. 6 tablespoons, maybe it's 1/4 of a cup. I feel like going over a little bit, it won't, it'll just make it more rich and chocolatey. Don't breathe that in, make you cough, man, if you accidentally inhale cocoa powder. All right, Mimi, you wanna stir that for a minute? Okay, you do that. I'm also gonna add in a cup of slivered almonds. So we're gonna do coconut oil, maple syrup, and vanilla, and that's all of the ingredients for the granola. Here is our pan of granola about to go in the oven. And I actually put the chocolate chips right here on top. I actually looked up, some places tell you not to do that. But I like it when they melt and then I kind of stir it a little before it's fully cooled and it makes like little granola clusters and I really like that. So you can also do like toasted coconut, you could add hemp seeds, you could add, I don't know, you can really add quite a few add-ins. I did a very simple version today, but it's gonna go in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes and you might wanna stir it around about halfway through to make sure it's getting evenly cooked. Here are my breakfast cookies and they are fully cooled now. If this seems like a lot of breakfast cookies for your family, that's okay. You can actually freeze them on like a single sheet pan. Once they're frozen, throw them all in a big gallon Ziploc bag and just thaw them the night before you want to eat them and pull them out in sections. This might even last you, you know, a couple weeks. This will last us like 2 sittings. But yeah, it's a really easy recipe. You use that whole can of pumpkin and they store really, really well. We checked the clock and I believe I've been in the kitchen about an hour and a half. We've got the breakfast cookies are done, banana almond muffins are done, the orange cranberry muffins are done, the granola is done. Then I was gonna do these no-bake bars, but I don't have enough coconut oil, so I'm gonna switch it up real quick. It's like a miracle because both of the babies are still asleep. I'm gonna try to get this done really quick. I did also put a quick batch of eggs to boil because I do that pretty much every week. We fly through those really quickly. But I'm gonna try to make like a Cheerio granola bar. We're gonna see how it goes. The recipe I looked up was pretty simple. Here's all the ingredients you're gonna need. Right, so I also get these Cheerios with WIC, and so I always try to find creative ways of using that up as well because we don't do a lot of like cereal breakfast just because I feel like they're not very fulfilling. A while back I did do a WIC grocery haul, and if you haven't seen that, if you have WIC or are eligible for WIC, it is a great program that can really help your family through a tough time, like losing jobs and things like that. But I went through the grocery store and showed like the healthiest options out there. So the reason I get the regular Cheerios is because it is at least not made with genetically modified ingredients. Now obviously you could go get some like organic brand of Cheerios, but this is still a pretty good option, especially when you're getting it for free. So many technical difficulties. I didn't have enough storage in my phone, but basically we just have the honey and the almond butter here in this can, and I just use the same cup measure for both because it was going to the same place. So we're gonna heat this up on the stove. We're gonna stir in some flaxseed, and then we're gonna mix that with the Cheerios and then put it in a pan. I hope it's that easy because I think they're gonna be delicious, and it seems really simple so far. I am just heating this up real quick. It looks very creamy and delicious. A whisk would probably be better. Right now I'm using a spoon. Okay, and then I'm gonna add half a cup of the flaxseed meal to this. Just flax in general is pretty healthy for you. And that really didn't need to be on the stove long at all. And I'm just gonna measure approximately half a cup, and I'm gonna stir that up real good. Then I'm gonna put 6 cups of Cheerios in my big bowl. Put this bad boy in the freezer, which don't know about freezer space, but I'm gonna try it out. Then once they're frozen, I think you can cut them into cubes, and then you can just store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator. But hopefully they taste delicious. Okay, we did it. All right, so it's been roughly 2 hours. I think I might hear a baby waking up, which is generally my cue that I am done for today. I think we did pretty good. I got a lot done on the list. There are a couple more things I'm gonna wanna do, but I'm gonna go ahead and just do it a different day, and hopefully I'll get it done maybe Sunday afternoon or something like that. But it's also party day on Sunday. We've got a little one turning 2, so tomorrow is going to be all about cupcake making. So this way I have a lot of breakfast and snack ideas done for the whole week. I don't have to frantically try to think of something or whip something up. I've got a lot of options in the fridge, in the freezer, on the counter. We're locked and loaded and ready to go.
Let's make muffins for later.
You made muffins for later? Who are the muffins for?
Okay.
No, who are they for?
You.
For me? All of them are for me?
No.
Oh.
That's one.
Just one muffin?
Yeah.
How many muffins did you make?
I make cookies.
You made cookies too? Or all the cookies for me?
No.
Oh.
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
How many cookies for you?
Different.
So I hope you enjoyed this food prep video. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. We love having you here at our little Rod Squad TV channel. And so if you want to see more videos like this, leave it in the comments below. Like, what sorts of things? Are you gluten-free? Are you dairy-free? What sorts of things would you like to see me make? And I would love to help give you any ideas, and you share your great food prep ideas with me. All right, until next time, y'all have a blessed day.